boys, we're back. It's Saturday night. It's mental out there. I'm Felix Leiter. To my right, looking suave as ever, is Dean Saunders. To my left is Anthony Hepburn. Hello, mate. How are you? And in seat 4, Mr. Danny Bond. Yes, Leeds legend in the house. How you doing, mate?
I'm very good. Yourself?
Yeah, we're all good. Yeah,
you made it in safely just because your car got attacked on the way in, didn't it?
Yeah. So trapped on the one-way system for a while, and I'm just coming up to find the hotel, and yeah, this Cinderella started on my window. Just leave window, please. And I couldn't move for a while because I was at a traffic light, and she just kept saying what she was saying. I needed subtitles. I had no idea what she was saying, and I drove on. So that was my welcome to the tune.
Yeah, well, welcome to Newcastle. Welcome to the big market, but we're glad you made it.
So we're going to start this week with, what's the best thing that's happened to you this week? I'm going to go at Anne first. What's the best thing that's happened to you this week, mate?
Well, after the tune getting crashed out of the Champions League, it was nice to get 3 points today, so it's probably the safest one to go into, and I thought I'd just get out now before Dean starts ripping into us for not being European football anymore. Thank you.
I'm keeping quiet because Leeds beat Middlesbrough the other week, so I'm not mentioning football today.
But we got beat by Sunderland on the other day, so...
Fuck, you had one job, mate.
I know, I'm going to wait for that.
Luckily, no Sunderland fans there, so you see.
I'll wait for that.
Dean,
what's mine?
Best thing that's happened to you this week?
I'm going to go non-work related.
Okay.
I'm going to go, I've taken enough hits off Ant recently, including on the Jess Beers podcast, which, as we've just discussed, Ant doesn't remember anything from that podcast. Oh yeah, you were on the podcast.
I was here. I was here in spirit.
With spirit, there's a lot of spirit. A lot of spirit inside. But Ant makes a comment about my lack of gymming. Okay. So as of this week, I've restarted the gym. I know. I'm proud of myself. You can't tell yet.
You're welcome. It only took one fat joke to make you go back.
So I'm back in the gym. So watch this space. See how long I can keep it going for.
Okay, I'm gonna go next. We went to York yesterday, and we ate in a restaurant called Sora, which is at the top of the Malmaison, and it's like a Japanese sushi thing, and it was incredible. That's easily the best thing that happened to me in the last week. Danny, what's been going on with you?
Well, I was just going to carry on from your gym thing, so I've got massive issues with me at the moment.
Right.
I've got into Bailey's again, because it's Christmas. It's Christmas! Right, but did you... Right, in fact, let's go if you're into your fitness, right? So, Bailey's, no one drinks 50ml of Bailey's, do they? Like, 50ml is like...
No one's measuring a Bailey's, right, not at Christmas. Free pour.
It's dessert.
So if you have a 100ml glass of Bailey's, how many calories do you think are in that?
Ooh, you should know this.
I reckon that's... How would I know it?
You're a chef, you should just know
calories
of all things.
Pisshead.
No. Let's all give a figure.
Cooking Bailey's.
Yeah, right, should know everything.
So Danny knows. Let's see who can get the closest. I'll go 650.
650.
I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go for like 800.
Okay.
So I'm going to go 725.
Oh God, I sound like I know issues. No, it's
I'm just going right in the middle, just like winning either way.
100ml of Bailey's, it's 350.
Oh, so you don't need to feel... I don't need to feel guilty at all.
Glasses.
But when you have the bottle...
But then, like, that Bailey's runs out, then you try the Di Serrano, the Velvet one. Oh my Lord.
Can we pause this pod? Can we pause this pod? I've changed my mind. We're having a drinking pod again. The drink band's over.
It's unreal. So I use that app, MyFitnessPal, where you like your key and all your calories. Honestly, I've had to fuck that app off. So I get to the end of the day, I've eaten like a lettuce and a chicken breast, and then over there, and my calories are just gone over.
So just come up on the app, stop.
Yeah, it's just like I've had to leave it.
Stop. It's like begging.
Yeah, come on, you're making a right fool of yourself.
Right, so we're gonna do the basis of this one is like Leeds versus Newcastle. What's the best night out kind of thing? So I want to go around the table first and start with what was the club or the night brand that was huge when you were just about to start going out. So I'm going to start with Shindig at Foundation, like Foundation, legendary club in Newcastle, just up the hill from like the quayside. Like it's turned into a block of flats now, but Shindig used to be there every Saturday. Epic venue. Like it was a warehouse venue at the time. Like it was basically a stripped back, incredible venue. Like it was that place where even when you went to the toilet, just all the pipes were rattling because of the sub and the bass and everything. Yeah. And it was an incredible venue to party, an incredible place to be. That was the huge venue and brand when I first started like going out. What was it for you?
Liquid. It was liquid. Like again, we talked on this on a previous pod. You know, when liquid used to be massive, and we used to go on a Thursday. Was it Quids in on a Thursday back in the day? And it was like I was only 16 at the time, and I've told these this before. The passport I used when I was 16 looked more like me than my actual.
Did you like McLovin or?
What's your surname? But it looked more like me. Yeah. To be fair, I look more like McLovin at 18 than my passport I used. But I used to love that liquid on a Thursday, I think.
Nice. And what was yours, mate?
The standout one was probably Skate. That was at Northumbria Uni on a Tuesday. Because it was like fucking, was it £1.25 for a pint of diesel? So you just
cost of living crisis.
Oh mate, you were fucking obliterated on like 13 quid. It was just, mate, unbelievable.
It's so approximate, that number. Like,
Did you know, when
there was £7 left.
When I used to go, I was when I first started going out, I was so approximate with what I used to have. Like I might have told this before as well, but we used to have our group. We all took turns, so somebody would be the designated driver each week. Each week we went out more than once, but like we'd do it. So someone was a designated driver each like night out. So they always knew they weren't allowed to drink on one of the nights, but they weren't allowed to drop out. That was always the rule. They're still allowed to come and be the designated. I don't care if you're bored and everyone's drunk and doing your head in. You still drive, because at least if you drive, then it means everyone in their head isn't paying for like a taxi there and back that week. You then had your entry to the club, and you had your money for your pre-drinks, which was trebles at the time, and then you had like an allowance for like 2 drinks in the club. So you say approximate, we used to do that, and I always used to remember it used to be $1.95 for a treble in Sam Jack's, I think that's right. And I always used to remember how many drinks I drank, because I'd black out, and I don't even remember how much I drank by how many 5p's I had left in me.
It's true. So what was it for you? Like, what was the club or the brand that was like when you were just first starting to go out? Was it Leeds?
It was Leeds.
Yeah, so what would have been the standout venue and or brand at that time?
So called Federation.
Yeah.
And it was under like the under the train, sort of under the train.
Is that what became Mission?
No. So it was literally under. It was underneath.
Right.
So you'd be dancing and there'd be some some crackhead's piss coming going down. But like that were like the sort of like funky house. Like the funky house area. But I think for me, and I'd probably you all agree, I think the tension of standing in a queue, and you could hear the sub bass and stuff like that, and like Federation were that place where it were unbelievable. On like the kind of, might as well call it binge drinking, we had Heaven and Hell. We had Heaven and Hell, and in fact, I've got a funny story about Heaven and Hell, but we had Heaven and Hell, and it was £10 in all you could drink. So like you're there with your 5p's, we didn't need 5p's. We paid it in, right, and it was like VK from Teemu, like it was just horrible piss. I ended up doing a night there. This is do
you think they used to just leave the empty bottles and let the
They got it from Federation. They got it from Federation.
It's a different colour every week. The swing.
I've got mad stories. So I ended up my first ever events I did it at Heaven and Hell, and there were 3 floors. Heaven and Hell. So you had the underground was where we were, but before that did hard house in there. The middle was R&B, and the top was like. Kind of, if you was probably bullied at school, you went to the top floor. Kind of place.
That's where I was upstairs. That's
the front of the school bus.
It was like busted and stuff like that. Okay. So anyway, we had the bottom floor. Nothing against busted.
I would listen to busted.
That's where Dean was.
So we had the bottom floor, and we used to pack it out. And the middle floor, it was me playing. The ceiling collapsed on the middle floor, right? It fully fucking collapsed to the point I could see the beams. So
was there no one's legs coming through? Was like
no legs.
All right.
I don't know. Like the ceiling collapsed. So any respectable nightclub would have closed at that point. the owner come in. Sorry, the manager, and he went, "You're going to have to take the decks upstairs." Right. Shut the middle floor, right? And I swear to God, right. I remember it clear as day, and that when it was Technics. So we got some Technics, and they all run upstairs, and bear in mind, there's kids dancing to Busted upstairs, and there's just a sea of absolute like Rajpots. It was like Lion King. When they're looking round this party, DJ, we put the decks in. And we just carried on the party.
Unreal.
While there was a collapsed fucking ceiling on the middle floor.
Oh, incredible. Yeah. I think you mentioned that, like, all you can drink thing. Like, have you ever played BCM or been to BCM in Magaluf?
No, but I've heard
the mad thing about BCM is, like, I would always say if, like, there was some, like, younger people who maybe hadn't been to Ibiza yet or whatever, like, they get into that, like, 18, 19. I'm like, go Magaluf first. Because you can go to BCM and see the exact same people you'd see at Ushuaia, except you pay 30 euros in.
Yeah.
All you can drink. And the first time I went was like I was playing after Axwell and Paul Bailey Haig, PBH, was the resident.
I know Paul,
So Paul was like, oh, it's all you can drink. And I was like, come on though, what's the catch? And he was like, there's no catch. He was like, because I had like, I was upstairs with him. He was like, I'll get you a normal wristband and you can go and check out. I was like, there's a catch. I was like, they're going to give you like a thimble of vodka. He was like, they free pour it in. And I was like, I went and got the drinks. It was like, it's unreal.
Is that still a thing now, or have they stopped?
Well, I mean, I don't know after that. This was pre-pandemic. But honestly, it's the same sort of thing where you would go to Ushuaia and pay maybe like €100 to get in to see whoever it is. Then you've got to buy all your drinks. Whereas when you're in BCM, you can just, it's like 30. It used to be 20. It used to be from 25 to about 35. They'd basically changed the price that day depending on like how many ticket sales they'd done and everything. So they were so elastic with it. And it was just incredible. You know, you'd only see one act as opposed to maybe in Ibiza you'd see three on the same bill.
Was it a big act? I think it was a long time ago I went to BCM in Magaluf, but I think I'd have seen Chasing Status there.
It used to be
big acts.
Yeah, pre-pandemic it was just 7 days a week. Axwell, Angelo, Afrojack, Harris, like it just used to roll. Fisher, I've seen this summer. But yeah, just when you mentioned that all you can drink thing, it's just such a great shout.
You're so right in what you're saying. I think like kids being introduced to Ibiza now, like it's an expensive do. Like
let's do the best thing about a night out in Leeds or Newcastle. So like I'll take Newcastle, you'll take Leeds. You can choose which one you want. I think I'll go first with Newcastle. For me, the best thing about a night out in Newcastle is it's also compact. Like, if you get off the train, everything is in walking distance with like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like anything you want. The hotel you're staying in, the bars you want to drink in, the restaurants, the strippers, everything is... everything is compact in like one place. Not even like go to a bigger city, you might have to move around, you might have to go to Deansgate, come back, everything. Even the arena, football ground, everything... I'm pretty sure, unless you like, you know, you've got an issue with it, you could walk to almost everything in 20 minutes from the train station. Like, all the major things. The people are great. Like, you always have a good, like, there's always really great people, like in Newcastle. It's always like a bit of banter and, you know what I mean, and everything else. But I think that's the great thing about Newcastle is everything is jammed together. What are you going to go for? You're going to go for a night out in Newcastle or a night out in Leeds?
I'll mix it up. I'll go Leeds.
Okay.
For me, obviously, again, Newcastle's incredible, but I do love how everything's open later in Leeds. Like that's the thing that kills us with Newcastle. Yeah. Clubs are all shut at 3, 4 if it's a digital or it's a China white. But like just Leeds being open later, it allows me to have less pressure. I don't have to get out as early. That always kills us. So I can go out a bit later. And I do love Leeds. Although every time I go, it's obviously Loose Day's been going in Leeds 3 years now, and I do need to go even more. But every time I do go, I end up in the casino. I don't gamble, but I end up in the casino because it's
Harrogate.
Because obviously the clubs are open later. I've paced myself a bit more, and I'm like, well, the clubs are shutting now. I may as well stay out. But then the only place you can go, at least in Newcastle, you can go to Spot White, and Spot White closes at 6. So at least you're like, it's 6 o'clock. I need to take myself home. Whereas in Leeds, because it's like getting a stupid o'clock, I always end up at the casino. And I don't spend money at the casino, so I'm just that freak who's trying to like sober up and have food and put like me quids in. But yeah, I do like Leeds. I like Leeds, and it's always a later one. I think.
So what's for you? What makes Leeds just an incredible night out?
I feel Leeds and Newcastle are very similar in terms of that they just do it properly. In terms of that, you know, like in terms of artists to get behind their own. In terms of parties, like the proper go for it. In terms of the like late night stuff, if anything, for my own stuff, my own vets now, I'm open at 8 o'clock, and most of my crowd are in by 10:30.
Yeah,
I think because I'm getting older, I think I want to fucking get home. I need to go home, but there's something kind of to do. Like, it'd be an interesting podcast if you went into Victoria Gate Casino and mic'd someone up and asked, so what the fuck are you doing here? Do you know what I mean?
You're like, Dean, is that
you? But yeah, I think we've just got very similar traits in terms of that, like, maybe it's a northern thing.
It's a work hard, party hard thing. It's like Belfast, Glasgow, Newcastle, Liverpool. Like, it's that we work hard, but then when it comes to the weekend, we're going for it.
Yeah, big time. I'd say Newcastle busier than Leeds at the moment, though, in terms of like, I come up. So I was here maybe 2 months ago, and I'd done like a big long section at my own night, and then I got straight up here. And while my own night were busy, the city centre wasn't crazy, but when I come in here, I'm like, where the fuck all these people come from?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can't get anywhere. I guess when you're in your own city the whole time, you come and then you love
something else.
Like yourself, So
what are you going to go for, mate? You're going to go Newcastle. You've got to go Newcastle.
I'll go Newcastle.
Yes.
You know the thing I love about Newcastle the most, though, and you know, it's, in fairness, Leeds, other places could be similar, but like Newcastle's just got everything for every person, like for every walk of life. So if you want that like really high-end nightclub with fucking bottles and sparklers and stuff, you can. If you just want to go neck like Jaeger bombs and warm bottles of AK in Pop World, it's there. You know what I mean? Like,
you're like working at council on like we've got it all. We've got it all.
So like, I think it's. I don't think there's necessarily like a genre or like a type of bar that isn't in Newcastle City Centre. I can't imagine anybody coming to Newcastle and being like, I didn't enjoy that night out because it didn't have the specific thing.
It has that atmosphere, I think, Newcastle. You know, when you go on holiday, we were talking about Maglove, talking about Ibiza, even Vegas. Newcastle Saturday night has the atmosphere of like everyone's here to party. Like we are locked in and we're going. Whereas like some places you go, everyone's a bit like, oh, come on then. We'll go out. You know what I mean? And Newcastle is just like, nah, we're all in this and we're taking it to the next level.
Yeah, I think like when I were in London last week and like the vibe in London, it's just so different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
when you get to Ministry, you could be a minute away from Ministry in Elephant Castle and not know there's a nightclub there. It's basically in the middle of a housing estate. Like, it's kind of like, until you like literally get there and see the projections on the wall and everything and see the gate, you wouldn't know there was a nightclub there.
Birmingham's like that as well. I DJed down in Birmingham a couple of times and it was like literally like in an industrial estate. This nightclub. Yeah. Like, it was literally like a fucking car garage next to like a quick fit and then a nightclub just in a warehouse.
Getting your videographer to do all the B-roll.
It's freaky coming out of Fabric though, when you come out of Fabric and it's all like, because it's right by, because you're right, the Malmaison's by the Fabric when you go Ministry, but you come out of Fabric at like whatever time in the morning and it's all just, it's the market and everyone's like just carrying fish and meat around and you're just like, this is.
And I guess it goes back to what you were saying about Newcastle, that everything's so close together. So it's like, again, you've got food areas, like everywhere where people are having food, they've probably got a pint in the hand. So there's the opportunity to go to a bar straight away. Whereas I guess, like you say, in some of the cities, like if you're having food over there, but clubs and bars are nowhere near, you just take yourself home. Whereas it's very easy in Newcastle because it could be at Wagamama's having a beer, and you could just be like, oh, should we just pop the bar for one? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that does happen a lot. A lot of my friends who are a bit older now and they'll go for food and then look, should we go to Mother Mercy for one? Should we go for a cocktail? And then a cocktail leads to something else, and then all of a sudden...
So basically, no, we're all pissheads.
But we try and like deny that we are. We try and act elegant. We go for food originally. But look, I was banned on a self drink ban, me and Anth, and since I've been staring at them, I should be looking at you as you speak. But I just keep wondering. I'm like, they're eyeing me up there. There is one coming over to me very sick.
You can do it.
Screw it.
Just do it.
It's interesting because you mentioned the thing about Leeds that you like was that stuff was open later.
Yeah.
We chatted about this on the phone this morning. Like the interesting thing about Newcastle is it's very compact. Yeah. So it's like, and again, like you were at Ministry. Ministry's a funny one. It'll open at like 11. It's really quiet for like 2 hours. Gets sort of really busy about 1:30, 1:00, and then again it starts to tail off at about like 4:30ish. But it's open until like it can be open till 6. Whereas like digital, when it's busy, like digital, the big headliner, whatever, is like it's busy by like 11:30. And then because it shuts at like 4:15, it's rammed until the end. Yeah. Whereas Ministry has that like clubs that I think that are open for a long time. Yeah. Ibiza's the same. Like there's a tail in, there's a peak, and there's a tail out.
Yeah.
Which I think can be different. But let's talk about clubs and brands. It's your perfect topic. Clubs and brands that are smashing it in Leeds and Newcastle right now. So you can go both if you want. But like, if you were going to tell someone that was coming in from down south, and we were like, look, this is where you need to go right now. Where are you saying you can do Newcastle and Leeds if you want?
Yeah.
What clubs and or brands are just smashing it right now?
Well, I've got to say, in Leeds at the minute, obviously our most popular is Devotion on a Tuesday at the warehouse. Like, it's absolutely flying every week. Obviously, it's the last one of term just gone because it's obviously very student heavy, but that one's been absolutely smashing it.
Is that Mint Warehouse?
No, the warehouse.
The warehouse.
Yeah.
That's like Newcastle Sunderland, is that? The warehouse
Yeah, you're they go fuck.
and then Newcastle. Well, I think for the older crowd, the industry crowd, obviously Persistence, I'm always going to give a shout out. But I think with the students at the minute, Troppy Loco on a Monday at Social Club, Chachabuchi and Howlers, which is the old House of Smith Faritas and Madame Coos. That's like absolutely flying at the minute. And we've just announced that I'm going promo 101 here. Sorry, Felix. But we just announced, obviously, we're starting Loose Days Liverpool in January as well. And Troppy Loco was the brand that we're going to use down in Liverpool.
I don't feel like, I mentioned Shindig before, but I don't feel like in Newcastle at the moment, if we leave the kind of like the midweeky stuff, I don't feel like there's any brands. I mean, Rise maybe still a little bit, but like dominating that market. But I don't feel like there's a weekend brand that dominates in the way that they used to, like the Wax-Ons, the Shindigs. I mean, Rise is like a rock night. What night's Rise on?
Saturdays.
And that's still like a beast, isn't it?
I mean, the things with the boys that do Rise, like, that's their crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not just from Rise, but obviously like Alpha before and Legends and Crash. Like, the guys have been heavily involved in that scene for a long time. So like, literally, if anybody was to come to Newcastle and be like, I'm going to do a rock night, you're just wasting your fucking time, effort, and money. Like, you generally are, because they'll just blow them out of the water.
Yeah.
They've got their crowd. Like, they don't in. There's loads of people that came in, like, they do all these tour nights now, like Black Parade and fucking new metal nights and that, and they turn up and there's like 7 people in the Riverside. Because as soon as they say that they're doing something, the guys from Rise will just be like, fucking see you later, and they'll just do something massive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shut it down.
That's what it is. It's promo at the end of the day.
And
it's a battle.
it's like what you said before, especially in Newcastle and Leeds, like, people like supporting the people who do stuff within their city. So I think like, if someone comes from out another city, the more inclined to go, well, I'm going to support the guys who do it locally all the time. I think that's obviously, again, I'd like to say we are Leeds now, because obviously we've done it for 3 years, and obviously a lot of our main guys have been based in Leeds the whole life. But when we first started doing Leeds, we did it with a lot of the guys who were previously from Leeds, and then they recruited a lot of the guys who were in Leeds, because I think otherwise, if it's people from Newcastle coming to do Leeds, people are like, hold on, it's a Leeds thing. So we I'd like to think, did it a clever way, hence it's still going now. But I 100% agree with that, because if someone from another city came to Newcastle, we'd be like, hold on, like, do you know what I mean? It's like we do the events,
especially if you're doing like a weekly event.
Yeah,
I think if you're doing one-offs and stuff, then fucking go for it. You know what I mean? But if you come to a city and you're doing a weekly event, like, it's stand on toes, really, innit?
And what's killing it in Leeds? I mean, I remember the days of Kiss the Funk. I remember the days of like Habit. Do you know what I mean? All that sort of stuff.
Mine.
But so what's killing it on a weekend now in Leeds? I mean, shout your own stuff out, obviously. But what else is like? Is there a brand like that anymore?
So at the moment, I'd say in Leeds sort of the weekends, the only brand that have consistently held it together is Voodoo. They've held it together on a weekend in Leeds.
That project, right?
Project's O2, but they have space every Friday, every Saturday. They've had that like forever. Like that club's just one of those clubs that will just keep going and going and going. In terms of doing things sort of out of the box, it changes. So you've got Mint Warehouse who'll get talent, but now you've got a venue called Testbed that's just opened where they had we
did a Solado Testbed recently, which was really good.
Were you involved in that?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So you've got like, they had Ewan McVicker, they had Kettimer, so they're like kind of sort of pushing the boundaries, but there's not. But we used to have Canal Mills, and obviously the Canal Mills guys were heavily involved in all the festivals. And that the hard thing about getting talent in Leeds is there's so many politics of you can have him, but you can't have him because he's doing his festival. You can't have her because she's doing this, she's doing that. So like that kind of stopped Leeds kind of thriving in terms of that we couldn't be able to go see this artist there. That the kind of the politics got in the way. But of a regular night, like on a weekend, they're the brands that I remember. The Warehouse on their own put on some cool kind of parties like that. They'll put the neck on the line and they'll book some talent. But I think, as you know now, getting talent, unless you catch them early, like there's a barrier now between like you're doing things for just the love or you're doing it as a business to try and...
Is Basic still going?
He's still alive, is Dave? Like, I don't know how he's still alive.
Dave Beer, but I mean, is Basic still... it's not a weekly thing anymore?
No.
Right.
That's long gone. But he still does his underground...
Right.
He still does his underground stuff. But he's got, like, you know, he's what he's done in our city. Like,
he's a legend, isn't he?
Yeah. He's done so many big things. But in terms, you know, I'd love to... Like, in the glory days of, like, Kiss to Funk, you know, I remember they had Eric Murillo on.
I was speaking to Bobby today. Rang my mate when we were having lunch from Tessera, and I was like,
all right, good friends.
Yeah, I told him you were on the pod. I was like, I'll give him a shout out. So.
And also for me, the best DJ, probably the best DJ I've ever watched. Technically, is amazing. But when he did that, he had Eric Murillo, and because Mission was so small, and loads of little alleys, like the same where all the piss comes off you, literally. But that was through a nightclub. They had to... So they had Murillo on in the main room, and they had 4 arches, it was. And they had TV screens in each arch, so you could see Murillo playing. Nice. And he were the first people to book David Guetta and Leeds. He had David Guetta and Leeds, then he had Swedish House Mafia. And like that, you could go to Leeds and, you know, pay £15 a ticket, and you see all that talent. So you were just spoiled. You were spoiled for choice. Which is sad, really, that we can't see that anymore. Do you know, like, be able to see such big artists on his doorstep without having to go to arenas and things like that.
Well, talking about big artists on your doorstep, you're playing NX tonight.
Yes.
You've come up. You're going on after Schak. How are you feeling about that? How much Makina's in your bag?
Do you know what?
It's half empty now, though.
Do you know what? It's funny because I played Ministry with Schak last Saturday, and we got. They didn't get me a van to go to train station, so I had to get in Shak's. So we're all going in together, and his train got cancelled, and like we got chatting away, and we all were going up together. He ended up coming to my house and got picked up from my house, and like I was like, "What the fuck have you done putting me after you?" And he went, "Look, Kimmich won't do it." He won't do it either. Oh, fucking hell. So do you know what? I said to management, I said, it's going to go 2 ways. This. I'm either going to have so much fun because I've got loads of like hard stuff ready, or I'll be in bed for 3:10. It's going to go either way. But.
And what's on your rider? What's on your rider for night?
Oh, so fucking hell, I sound so middle class.
Hummus.
I'll tell you this. No, there's no food on it. There's no food. So, for some reason, when I was in Ibiza, I had tequila, but I had ginger beer with it. Right, trust me.
Right.
But
as a mixer or or a chaser kind of thing?
No, yeah. So it's a mixer. So you
right,
have
okay.
like 50 ml of tequila. Not that measure. And you have like tequila. But it's got to be this makes it worse. I sound so bad here. It's got to be Fever Tree, not this.
Obviously,
it's got to be. Because
it's not a gin and tonic.
No,
it's a gin and Fever Tree.
Yeah, it's low. It's not as like spicier. It's like so when these Ministry totally fucking got it. They got that straight from Pound Shop. And they put it in. So anyway, that's my rider, and it is so obnoxious. And I have to if I only have a couple of drinks, I do get the videographer to put it in his bag, and then I can put it up on the shelves because it's quite, you know. But talking about riding,
well, I was going to say you've booked loads of DJs over the years. Have you ever had like a mad rider request from anyone?
Right, this is. Oh God! Right, so,
I feel like we could ask any question and you would have a story for it.
Yeah, I've been around a while now. I know I look like that, but so Judge Jules, just to put the context in the story, Judge Jules now for my music stuff, he's my lawyer, and he's been my lawyer for well over a year. So someone I speak to like loads.
He did all our stuff for LooseFest. He was brilliant.
He's the man, and like when you're speaking to him, you still like a little bit of a star boy. Like I loved him as a kid. So anyway, when I was a promoter, the second, I've got another one, but the first, when we had his first birthday of Habit, we booked Judge Jules, because I've been in Ibiza for all summer, so I was doing Thursdays at Eden, and I remember listening to him on his Judgment Sundays, And he used to play in the main room, and he'd go in the back room and he'd play house.
A funky set.
Listen, he is.
I went there when I was 16.
Absolutely shit out of playing house. Like, he's unbelievable. So I said to Alex, my partner, we've got to book him. We need to have him. And at that time, they're affordable. You could have a superstar DJ, and they're affordable. So we had Jules, and Alex rings me, and he says, you need to check your email. Jules' rider's here. So I was like, right, okay, no problem. I went, what's a rider? Like, I thought it was like his driver or something. I didn't know what a rider was about that. We never had a superstar DJ before.
Yeah.
So they sent me this rider. I remember, and I'm looking at it on this list, and it said, stool of adequate height. I swear to God, fucking stool of adequate height. Right. Toaster. Toaster, bread, Kerrygold butter. Remember the butter? Kerrygold butter. I remember it to this day, the butter. Haribo's. 4 black towels, 2 white towels.
Amazing.
And then there was some certain crisps and something like that. So I took my mum. I said, Mum, we've got to judge Jules on tonight. So walking around Asda, going up and down aisles. I like Kerrygold butter there. It had to be not the cheap, where they take the salt out. It had to be the right one. So I've got all this stuff, and like it was no toasters in Asda. No toasters. So I got everything. I sorted the stool out that were getting brought down.
An adequate height. Sounds like a long stand, do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like spotted paint.
Yeah. So they go, and I couldn't get a toaster, so I got my toaster. I got my toaster from home, so I put it on the passenger seat of the car. And anyway, I'm driving through, and he rings me, Alex, went, right, have you, this is a big opportunity for us. Have you got all this rider? I says, yeah, I've got it all. The only thing I ain't got, I've got a toaster, but I've got my own. He went, why haven't you bought a new toaster? I says, well, because I couldn't. So anyway, he's on the phone, and I can hear him, and he's like trying to hold something in. So I was like, he went, have you got the stool sorted? Yeah, stool's coming. And he burst out laughing, and he'd made the whole ride look like I broke all the brakes on the car. The toaster went onto the thing, and because when you've got a toaster from home, all crumbs went all over the car. He'd made the whole ride. He only wanted a bottle of vodka. So Jules comes in DJ box. I tell Jules about this, thinking obviously he'll have a load of sense of humour. Obviously, Jules, I know you've got a sense of humour. He did not find it funny. He thought it was like a defamation of character, because like my mate had said, as if you were like this massive diva.
Yeah.
He just wanted to come and get pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm there. And I even showed him all the shit that I had with the Haribo's, the fucking towels.
4 black, 2 white.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
Fucking hell.
Ridiculous.
I've asked you before about Mad Riders, but like my favourite one is just like my mate Jim, who used to part of Shindig, and he used to run a big festival, Evolution, and he's a Scouser, and he'd get the riders through from people, and he'd just be like sat down the people going, fucking no, fuck off, fuck right, you can have water, and then that would be it, and he just fucking texted back.
Well, we're seeing they're a bit more standard nowadays, aren't they? Like, does everyone just kind of you have?
Well, the thing is like you tend to have like this. The top of the roster will have this thing of like how, bottles of premium spirits, 24 lagers, whatever else. And then that just gets rolled out for all acts. So then even like someone who's maybe a little bit smaller just has the standard rider from that management company.
Industry secret. If a artist says to you, it's my management that said about this rider, they're lying. They're lying. There's no manager. There's no industry standard tequila and ginger beer. That's just a drink that I like to. I honestly like. I think the riders, the management kind of put it there, but you do see it. Like, to be fair to Ben Elmsley, first time I ever met Ben Elmsley, I played after him. That fucking challenge as well, to be fair. I played after him. I covered for Alan Fitzpatrick in he couldn't make it. I played after Ben. He literally went 150, like going mental. Slowed it down to 128, put through to you, and then just walked off. Cheers, Ben.
It's the equivalent of a mic drop, isn't it? It's like Bosch.
Cheers, Ben. And then, but to be fair, Baldwin, I'm good mate, I like to speak to John all the time now. He literally got Ben's whole ride. There were fucking loads. Went, take that way. I said to the lad, he fucking will. He had loads on there. But sometimes I don't have it.
Yeah.
I don't have it in the go. Like, Schak won't have alcohol in his rider.
Right.
He won't touch this said. He says, because if he's in house, I'll drink it.
Yeah. Right, we did this before. We're going to do Pictionary. Last time we did DJ Pictionary, to be fair, you ended me with Dead Mouse. But so this one we're going to do like a Christmas-based Pictionary. I'm going to show you two who you're going to draw, You've got about 30 seconds to draw it. You're going to show the cameras first, then you're going to show Anth. They're easy ones. Like, you're going to know what you're trying to draw. Yeah. He's basically just going to say who the winner is. I guess probably just what makes him fucking laugh. So we're just going to have a go. You, as a guest, Danny, would you like green or blue?
Blue.
Right, okay.
Are you doing blue the same answers as last time? Because the judge won't remember what he was judging last time.
So we're doing different ones. You've got about 30 seconds to draw it, so you've got to work fast. And we're going to do Christmas themed. So the first one, guys, we need to draw it. I'm going to give you 30 seconds with the countdown timer, and I'll fill a little bit of time while you're drawing. You are going to draw it, you're going to sketch it out, and then when the countdown timer comes to an end, you're going to show it to your respective camera. Then you're going to show it to Anth, and he's hopefully going to, first of all, know what you've drawn, and second of all, is then going to pick a winner for which one entertains him the most. And so you've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Can you put it by your chests to the side of your microphones and show your respective cameras diagonally? Okay,
so
now
much better than mine. Mine looks like a knobhead.
You talking about Jess looking like a Pokemon.
How have you drawn that quick? You knew exactly what was coming on here.
That looks like a Snorlax from Pokemon, doesn't it?
Right, show Anth.
That's fucking Mr. Blobby, man.
Show Anth. Who have they drawn, Anth?
I mean, I'm guessing it's Santa, right?
Yes.
Like, how have you drawn that quick?
What's happened is
that? Like, is this... It's such a good edit. Cut cameras.
Is that Santa remixed?
It's like, yeah, it's Santa as a knobhead. Santa after too much sherry.
Really big sack. Enjoyed that. Oh, I haven't give you the bits of it.
Thing is, mine's a Santa, but he's also got no legs, so he's kind of like a snowman version of Santa, isn't it?
Right.
I was getting confused whether it was a snowman or not.
No, I just didn't have time to finish the legs.
Right, so unfortunately...
That's why he's got one massive one, one tiny one.
He does look like an knobhead. That's that thing.
Unfortunately, I have failed to give you the rub it out thing, so you're just going to have to use your... We're doing games of 3. So who's won there? Who have you given it? Who have you given the win to?
I got Dean's better, so we're going to have to go Dean. I hate going in-house. I hate going in-house.
Right, so we'll go. Let me pick this one up.
Honestly, I'm not a good drawer, so I don't know. I'm actually quite proud.
He absolutely nailed, like last time, if you didn't watch episode, we did Dead Mouse, and he drew like an upside down mouse and then RIP next to it. We lost our shit, to be fair.
Not a good drawer, just creative.
Right, okay, so here we go. Here's the next one.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
And off you go. So we are going Christmas themed, Pictionary based. Oh, nice. The rubbers have come in. Excellent. Good. Oh, geez. Excellent work from the producer off screen there. And we're going to go. It's going to have to be fast, this one. Going to start going with 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, show your cameras first, please. Laughing from off.
You can't do that.
Okay, and show Anth, please.
Does it mean that much to you? Look, if you want to win, listen. You got to do what it takes.
and Dean, you're normally great at this. What does Danny's actually look like?
What was that cartoon called? Was it Courage the Cowardly Dog?
It's got like Mr. Potato Head vibes.
Who are you going for the winner here?
I'm guessing it's Rudolph.
Yes, well done. Yep.
You've cheated with red there. If he only had one guess.
Why has he got a pitchfork on his head?
If he only had one guess.
I'm going for Danny on this one because the pitchfork on the head things put us off. Like.
And also,
1-1.
And also, Ant's worked out that we're going to go to the decider now, which is excellent. Great work, son. Right, so this is the.
So I'm not allowed to write anything. Sorry.
So this is the last one. You got it?
Yeah.
Right. Here we go. I'm going to hit the countdown timer. And this is for... Hang on, where have I got I think I've got my little trophy. No, I haven't. Where, is there a trophy up there? No. I think there's one I think it's in the front of the bag. I think it's in the... Oh, you got it. Look at this. Chuck it in again.
Why does everything
Chuck it onto the desk. Oh, don't worry if you can't find it. Chuck it on. Okay, we're going to go 10, 9, 8, 7. We're playing for this trophy. If you haven't seen it, Danny, it's pretty high. 3, 2, 1, and show your cameras, please. This is the decider for the...
It's horrendous. Again, it looks like a dick.
Okay. It's got very phallic. Okay, show your cameras, please. Show your Okay.
Hell, have you on my fitness pal?
And show Ants, please. Let's have a look. Wow.
I'd leave.
That is
what you served me, I'd leave.
That is incredible.
I'm on a budget.
I'm guessing it's Christmas dinner?
Yeah, well done. Mm-hmm.
Mine's a bush tucker trial at Mark.
Dean Saunders, he streaks over me. He's getting it.
Yes. Danny Bond.
But like, I even drew the turkey as a turkey.
Mine was literally a bush tucker trial.
Why have you got? Do you serve cactus on your?
That was like meant to be like.
Oh, that's a turkey. The whole turkey. A whole turkey.
That were pigs in blankets. That was sprouts, and that were carrots, same as sprouts.
Yeah, do you want to talk us through yours, mate?
Well, I went carrots.
Yeah,
and I spent a bit too much time on the carrots. It's because only because Danny got on my head saying everything looked like a penis. So I was like, well, I don't want my carrots to look like a penis. So I did my best to make sure it didn't. Then I started drawing the turkey, but it was difficult because mine started looking like a cactus as well. So I changed it, put the beak on, so you knew it was turkey.
Obviously.
And then there's some mash or something.
Cabbage.
What the fuck that part is like?
Oh well, congrats.
Right, here is some loose advice. It's just a giggle, Danny. We've got someone who actually messaged us in. I'm quite impressed. So it's really just for you, although we can chip in if we think we've got anything to say. But off you go, Anth.
So, loose advice. Do you play the jingle?
I did play it, yeah.
I didn't hear it this time round.
No.
Sorry about that. Loose advice this week. So, Danny did the fasting thing. Can you ask him how it went and any advice on trying to do it?
Oh wow!
Yeah,
who's watching?
So to explain what you did, and then like how if someone wants to have a go at it, they might go about it, and what did you go through / feel? Do you know what I mean? What was your experience of it?
Yeah, so I did a 72-hour fast.
Yeah,
I did that I think in April or May. I did it mainly. The reason I did it was because you'll know it when you work in clubs and stuff. You just fucking pick up bugs all the time, don't you? You're just constantly picking stuff up because you're in and around that. So I thought my immune system needs a reset. So usually you're just meant to do a day, and then you build up to it. I thought, right, I'm just going in 3 days here. So I did it. Day 1 was not too bad. Day 2 was hell, and I mean, like it wasn't the fact that we're hungry. You just felt horrible. But on day 3, like I'm not like a person like a spiritual, but like the feeling that I felt on day 3 was one of the best. Like I've never felt such a spring in my step. And I remember that day I got my meal out and all that, and I'd not done any homework into what you're supposed to have, you know, when you break your fast. Yeah. Got this big fuck off ribeye steak. Honestly. Next day I felt like I'd been shot in the stomach. So my advice is don't break it where you're supposed to break it with like what they call bone. Like who gets bone? You can't get bone broth in Aldi. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like, but so
if someone's going to have a go at doing it, say if Dean or I or Anth was going to have a go at doing it, is there any advice that, you know, like what would you, should you like start to eat less in the days before you start it?
You're supposed to eat no carbs like 2 or 3 days before. I didn't do any of that. Literally. I'm one of those where my missus will go, oh, what's he doing now? You know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Well, like, I just wanted to do it, but I did try for this last maybe 3-4 weeks, and I did it for 2 weeks, and then I didn't follow it. I was doing 24-hour fasts. That's pretty easy, that. So like you stop eating at 8 o'clock at night, and you have your next meal 8 o'clock that night. And like, it's not that hard, that.
Did you feel like, mate, because I could do that, like the 3-day thing scares the fucking shit out of me. Yeah. I could do the 24-hour thing. How did that make you feel? Like, did you feel like that helped you?
Well, I was just needing to bank calories of Bailey's. Saving
up for Christmas.
No, do you know what the worst thing was? I was doing it because I started tracking tracking calories and stuff like that. And honestly, like when you track calories, what most people do is they track calories at week, and then when they go out, they don't want to track them.
Yeah.
When you start like tracking it is mental. Like, you know, just to go out for a few meals and stuff like that. So I did that as a kind of a buffer to do it. But honestly, they say if you do it twice a year, and I did. Oh, by the way, when I did it, I didn't get any sort of like colds or anything for a good 4 or 5 months after. So all these people, these mad bastards who jump in North Sea and get cold and
Schak,
all that. He loves that. Like do that, and it kind of totally resets all like your immune system. And I'm supposed to be doing it on January 3rd, but I'm doing it on January 10th now. Okay. So like I'll report it.
Cool. I reckon we should all do it January 10th. We should all do it, the 4 of us at the same time, and just do constant updates. 3 day fast.
It's definitely doable.
Do you know what scares me though? Because I get migraines very easily.
What
and I think like that if
I
drink
don't have coffee,
you can. What can you consume? No food, but what can you drink?
You can have black coffee.
Right. Don't like coffee. Keep going.
Yeah, I don't. Like
but do you know what the trick is? Salt water.
Okay.
So so you have salt water, and then for whatever reason, when you get headaches, it's always just down to like lacking in minerals and lacking in salt. Mm-hmm. You know, so obviously, you know, when you've been on piss and you have like an electrolyte kind of thing. It's just the same. There's a guy called Eddie Abu who you follow on Instagram. Like he does 6 day fast.
Fuck off.
I mean,
he's a big bodybuilder.
Yeah, it makes sense because if I've got because I do get migraines quite often. And if I get a migraine, McDonald's salted chips, like it saves us. So it must be to do with the salt. So maybe I could do it with salted water. Who knows?
This is going to come out on Tuesday, the 19th of December. Yes. Have you got any parties you want to shout out? Are you doing New Year's Eve? Are you doing New Year's Day? Have you got anything coming up that you want to shout out now that people can come and check you out over that festive period?
So I've got New Year's Eve in Leeds, but then on February 2nd, I've got probably the biggest show I've ever done where I've got the O2 Academy.
Yes.
But rather than having the stage, I've got a 360 DJ booth in the middle of the floor.
Nice.
Fuck me, that were hard to get past that. Like the health and safety team there, they were like, says, well, do you want mojo barrier? No. I need it close. So we're doing that. That'll be the first time that I've done it in that venue, but it's going to be a 6 till 10 gig, and then with an after party after that. So that's kind of.
Is it an all ages thing because it's 6 till 10, or is it not? Is it still an over 18s?
No, it's not. It's not an all ages thing. That's something I'd love to do at one point. I would love to do that. But with this, you can only do the all ages because you have to separate them and put them on the balcony. But when we're doing the 360 thing, because it's in the middle of the floor, if you stood in certain places on the balcony, you'd never be able to see it. So you could only have a limited kind of capacity. But I started kind of. So people always think 360 like boiler room. It's not. It's quite different. Boiler room is where everybody's kind of behind you.
Yeah, the camera's in front of you.
Yeah. Whereas, so I did it. I did the upstairs at Mint Warehouse and ended up doing a full event. Then I did it at the festival at Mint Festival. I had my own. So I had like Luke Van Dijk, Morgan.
You had Morgan Seatree on, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that set, the footage he got from that set, like, accelerated everything. Like, I had to play after him. It was a fucking nightmare. But so we're doing it again, like, next year. I think they're announcing all the lineup next week. And honestly, for me, it changed DJing. Because when you're kind of set away from everything, when you're in the thick of it, don't get me wrong, the DJs who I play around, they hate it. You're right, it's a Marmite thing. Playing in the middle of the room, you'll either love it or you'll hate it. So, yeah, we're doing that February 2nd. That's the big one, yeah.
Nice. Right, well, thank you very much, mate. It's been incredible to have you. You're in NX tonight, playing after Schak, and we're all going to do a 3-day fast on the 10th of January.
It's on.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate you.
1, 2, 3, 4.